Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. The morning sun streamed gently through the Manhattan skyline, painting the city in golden hues. But inside the Ripa Consuelos household, the warmth of the sunlight couldn't penetrate the heavy tension that had settled over the family. Kelly Ripa, the bright, effervescent television star known for her infectious smile and cheerful demeanor, sat at the kitchen table staring blankly at a cup of untouched coffee. The familiar hum of the city outside seemed miles away, replaced by an oppressive silence that weighed down the room. Mark Consuelos, her husband of nearly 3 decades, leaned against the kitchen counter, rubbing his temples as he fought to find the right words. He had always been the strong one, the anchor to Kelly's vivacious energy, but today even he seemed lost. The kids, Michael, Lola, and Joaquin, sat quietly at the far end of the table, sensing the gravity of the moment, but too young in some ways to fully grasp it. Finally, Mark spoke, his voice low and strained. "Kelly, I got the call last night." Kelly's heart skipped. She had a sinking feeling that no mother, no wife should ever have to feel. "What is it, Mark?" she asked, her voice trembling slightly, betraying the calm she had fought so hard to maintain. Mark swallowed hard. It's your mom. The doctors say it's serious, very serious." The words hit her like a thunderclap. Kelly felt as though the floor beneath her had vanished. Her mother, the woman who had raised her with warmth and love, who had been her guiding star through every triumph and tribulation, was suddenly in grave danger. Tears pooled in Kelly's eyes, blurring the room into a haze of indistinct shapes and shadows. "No, that can't be," Kelly whispered, her fingers trembling as they clutched the edge of the table. She's fine. She's always fine. She's my mom." Mark moved closer, wrapping a protective arm around her trembling shoulders. "I know, Kelly, I know. But this isn't something we can fix by wishing it away. We need to be there for her, all of us." Kelly shook her head, the tears now streaming freely. She thought of her childhood, of all the small moments that had seemed insignificant at the time, but now held monumental weight. The gentle lullabies her mother had sung, the warm embrace at the end of a long day, the unwavering support during the trials of her early career. And now the thought that these moments could be drawing to a painful close felt unbearable. Later that day, Kelly and Mark arrived at the hospital. The sterile smell of antiseptic and the quiet beeping of machines filled the room. Kelly's mother lay in the hospital bed, frail and pale, yet there was a flicker of recognition when Kelly approached. She took her mother's hand, feeling the delicate bones beneath her fingers, and tried to draw strength from her presence, though the fear gnawed at her insides. "I'm here, Mom," Kelly said, her voice cracking. "It's me, Kelly." Her mother's lips curled into a faint, weak smile, but her eyes betrayed exhaustion and pain. My darling, you don't have to be strong for me. Just be with me." Kelly nodded, tears falling freely now, and sat by her mother's side, holding her hand as if letting go even for a second would shatter something precious. Mark stood quietly nearby, giving her space, yet ready to support her if she needed it. The kids, guided by their nannies, were kept away for the moment, shielded from the immediate pain, though they too would soon learn of the situation. News of Kelly's mother's condition spread quickly among the family and close friends. Within hours, the usually bustling social media feeds were flooded with messages of support, prayers, and concern. Fans who had followed Kelly's life for years expressed their heartbreak, sending virtual hugs and heartfelt messages. But amid all the public concern, the private anguish remained raw, intimate, and inescapable.
For Kelly, the hours stretched endlessly. She paced the hospital corridor, checked in with doctors repeatedly, and returned to her mother's bedside over and over, desperate for any sign of improvement. Each beep of the monitor, each labored breath sent shivers down her spine. She felt helpless, a sensation she rarely experienced, and it made her world feel entirely unmoored. The turning point came late in the evening when the doctor, a kind-faced woman with gentle eyes, finally spoke with Kelly and Mark in hushed tones. "We've done everything we can for now," the doctor said, carefully choosing her words. "But the condition is critical. There's a chance it might be too late. We need to prepare emotionally for all possibilities." Kelly felt the floor drop again, this time into a pit deeper than she could imagine. Her knees buckled, and Mark caught her just in time. She leaned against him, shaking uncontrollably, sobs racking her body. The heartbreak was unbearable, raw, a tidal wave crashing against the fragile shores of her normally composed life. Mark whispered reassurances, though he himself was struggling. "We'll face this together, Kelly. We're not alone. We're family. That's all that matters." Kelly nodded, though the tears blurred her vision. She looked at Mark, her anchor, and silently thanked the universe that at least she had him. Together, perhaps, they could navigate this storm, even as it threatened to swallow their entire world. In the following days, the family rallied. Michael, Lola, and Joaquin, though young, showed remarkable resilience. They brought drawings and notes for their grandmother, spoke softly to her in the hospital room, and offered hugs that conveyed love more profound than words. Kelly watched them and felt a pang of pride amid her grief, pride that her children, despite the confusion and fear, were learning the power of compassion and empathy. Friends and colleagues arrived at the hospital, offering quiet support. Regis Philbin's old friends, co-stars from daytime television, and close family friends all came to offer
Amidst the flurry of people, Kelly felt an acute loneliness, the private, intimate ache of watching a loved one suffer, something that could never be fully shared or alleviated by even the kindest gestures. One night, as Kelly sat alone by her mother's bedside, holding her hand and feeling the gentle rise and fall of her breath, she whispered through her tears, "Mom, I don't know how to say goodbye, but I love you, more than anything, always." Her mother's hand squeezed hers faintly, and she whispered, "I love you too, my darling, always." It was a fleeting moment, a tiny thread of connection amid the darkness, but it was enough to keep Kelly grounded. She realized then that love, even in the face of impending loss, was a force more powerful than fear or sorrow. The next morning, there was a subtle change. Kelly's mother's vitals stabilized slightly. The doctors were cautiously optimistic, but reminded the family that the road ahead would be challenging. It was a small victory, but a victory nonetheless, a glimmer of hope in a period overshadowed by heartbreak. Kelly stepped outside the hospital room, breathing in the crisp New York air. The city had continued on as if nothing had happened. Taxi horns, construction noise, and the hum of life carried on. And yet, for Kelly, everything had changed. She had glimpsed the fragility of life, the precariousness of joy, and the immense power of love that binds a family together, even in the darkest moments. Mark joined her, placing a reassuring hand on her back. "We'll get through this," he said softly, "one day at a time." Kelly nodded, a quiet determination settling within her. "Yes," she said, "one day at a time, and we'll cherish every single one." As they returned to the hospital room, Kelly felt a renewed sense of purpose. Though heartbreak had hit hard and the days ahead were uncertain, she knew that love, resilience, and family could carry them through. Tears may still fall, sorrow may linger, but hope had not been extinguished. And in that moment,